From Nutrien Ag Solutions, I'm Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, August 14th, 2023. We'll start off looking at the satellite picture, the infrared satellite picture. We've got an area of high pressure across the Pacific Northwest extending into portions of Western Canada right now, keeping things quiet, clear conditions, warmer conditions, and dry conditions across the region. Meanwhile, the jet stream going kind of off to the north, and then we've got a storm system kind of cutting through the midsection of the United States as well. So just right in between that, we've got some ridging. It is hot and it's dry across the prairie. We do have another run of active weather making its way in mid to late week. We'll talk about that in this forecast video. But again, off to a pretty quiet start for our Monday. We're looking at the radar right now. Not much showing up in the way of organized heavy precipitation. Temperatures, again, they're on the mild side this week in general. A little bit cooler this morning. Temperatures around 10 degrees near the prairie. Near the U.S.-Canada border is what I meant to say there. Anywhere from the lower teens to the middle teens as you make your way into portions of north-central Alberta and kind of west-central Saskatchewan there. So a bit of a mixed bag on temperatures there, anywhere from the upper single digits to the middle to upper teens across Western Canada. The last 7 days of precipitation, again, we've kind of had this active pattern where storm systems have kind of come up over the top of a ridge and then dive from northwest to southeast across the prairie, bringing, scattered corridors of heavier precipitation to portions of northern and central Alberta, central Saskatchewan, then down into southwestern portions of Manitoba, southeastern portions of Saskatchewan. Where the dry spot has continued to be portions of southern Alberta and southwestern Saskatchewan. Now, as we head deeper into the weekend, we will have the chance to bring some rainfall into these areas, these very dry portions of southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan, but it's going to continue to be on the lighter side, more hit or miss compared to the heavier precipitation, the better chances for widespread precipitation off to the north. Now here's a look at the jet stream flow Monday morning, August 14th, as I kind of drew for you that area of high pressure across the Pacific Northwest, parts of Western Canada, jet stream flow associated with the area of low pressure in the southwestern U.S., and then that area of faster flow off to the north of the prairie. Now we've got a run of disturbances here embedded within that faster flow across the Pacific, and that is going to act to kind of help break down this, what we would consider a high over low or Rex block across the western U.S. that could have the potential to really block up the pattern for days or perhaps, a week or two at a time. But this faster flow is going to bring a series of disturbances into western Canada and break down that ridge. So we actually bring back the chance for showers and storms here instead of going into a longer period of hot and dry conditions. So we'll take the drawings off here. We'll look at the jet stream winds. We'll take a look at this in a couple different ways, but take a look here. As we go through Monday and then into Tuesday, we see the first wave kind of quickly and quietly get through the area, but it's this one midweek here Wednesday. This one's going to bring the first chance for some organized precipitation to the prairie, and then right behind it, you can already see that next wave that comes diving in toward the weekend. This is your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and now we've got a very different pattern. We no longer have a ridge to the west. We've got a trough. We've got jet stream flow feeding into the prairie. This should give us the ability to generate a couple areas of low pressure across Alberta, moving those across the prairie, bringing in that chance for showers and storms. Again, a lot of this mid to late week into the weekend that we see this active weather. We'll look at the height anomalies. Again, this kind of shows us our areas of upper level, high and lower pressure. The ensemble kind of washing out as we get toward the end of the run. That is typical, but we can get some good clues out of the next 7 days if we bring this on back. One more time, I said we'd look at this a few different ways. Here's your ridge. Here are the two disturbances, the two areas of low pressure, and then here's the fast jet stream flow kind of looming off to the west. Taking the drawings off once again, here we go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Here comes the first wave diving into the prairie Wednesday, and then here is the next one coming over the top of the ridge as you get into the weekend. I apologize, the computer is kind of lagging here. Let's go ahead and animate this one more time. Wednesday, and then here's your next one, Thursday into Friday. This is one that really busts up the pattern and gets rid of that ridge across the Pacific Northwest, across British Columbia. Now, as we get into the weekend, we've got a very different look. We've got troughing across the region, and we're getting that area, or that rising motion, that lift across the prairie, generating showers and storms. So What I want to do here is we're going to animate the ensemble precipitation forecast. It's a sliding 72-hour window. So this will kind of just show us the block of stormier, conditions across the region. It can also show us, bigger blocks of drier conditions. So we'll hit play on this and animate it. You see the blue color kind of blossom there in the middle of this animation, and that is the kind of mid to late week into the weekend opportunity for showers and storms across the region, what I would call that window of opportunity for some moisture across Western Canada. So getting the week off to a drier start. We have that midweek disturbance that kind of comes in and brings that chance for scattered showers and storms. We will look at this in a more detailed way in just a moment, but just showing you where the blue colors, that precipitation blossoms, that 72-hour window. We're kind of talking about that August 19th through the 22nd time frame. So mid to late week into the weekend gives us that best chance for organized showers and storms across the prairie. That rain then begins to kind of break down. We start to lose that signal as we get deeper into next week. So we'll look at this in the ensemble probabilistic way first. This is the responsible way to look at this precipitation forecast over the next 7 days. This is the probability of picking up a half an inch or more total rainfall over the next 7 days through August 21st. Again, the orange-red shading there are going to be where the probabilities are the highest, and that is going to be across central Alberta, central Saskatchewan, and then central and northern portions of Manitoba. As you head further south of Highway 16 down toward the U.S.-Canadian border, we're talking about that lower than 50% chance. I'll show you we do have the opportunity there, but again, less than 50% chance, probably going to be drier across southern areas of the prairie. Now, when I say that it's the responsible way to look at this, the reason I say that is this is the same model, same precipitation time forecast. We're looking at the next 10 days. This is the European model. On the left is the most recent run. On the right is the run that came right before that. So on the left, this is the one that came out overnight. On the right, this is the model run that we got yesterday. The overnight run kind of had my eyes popping out of my head because look at this. We're talking about, over an inch of rain across a huge swath of the prairie and a big chunk of southern Alberta and southwestern portions of Saskatchewan. But then if you say, well, is this consistent or is this a new idea? And so we look at the run that we had yesterday and we say, well, the idea of showers and storms across the region is certainly not new, but the soaking a big chunk of Alberta and Saskatchewan idea is a little bit new. So we'll have multiple storm systems. I have good confidence in that. We'll have multiple opportunities for showers and storms in scattered nature across a big chunk of Alberta and Saskatchewan, including some areas that badly need that. But it's not yet a slam dunk, everyone gets rain forecast. This is one we'll have to kind of watch. Just know that window of opportunity is going to be wide open as we get later into the week and into the weekend. And just to kind of drive the point home further, this is the American GFS run through the same time period. This is your next 7 days of precipitation. The signal is still there for an active pattern for corridors of showers and storms, but this is, certainly not soaking Alberta and Saskatchewan as the overnight European model would have done. So if you want to take anything from that, the trend is your friend. The trend is certainly in a rainier direction, but I wouldn't be surprised or shocked, I should say, if today's run of the European model kind of pulls back that precipitation. Not saying it will. I'm just saying you have to be careful when you see a model run put out a bunch of rainfall and say, okay, but is this new? Is this a consistent story or are we jumping around a little bit? And at this moment, we are still jumping around a little bit. So I know I'm getting kind of long-winded right now, kind of splitting the hairs on this late week pattern. I want to show you what the European model last night put out, verbatim, why it's so active. Again, a hot, dry start to the week. This is your Monday into Tuesday. Here comes the midweek system that comes diving down. This is Wednesday morning. Here's Wednesday afternoon, and this is now getting into Wednesday night. That first low gets out of here. It really intensifies over Alberta. Could be a blustery and rainy Wednesday night into Thursday across portions of Manitoba and Ontario. Quiet across Alberta and Saskatchewan. We really turn more active across Alberta and Saskatchewan as we get into late Thursday and Friday. This is when that next burst of stronger jet stream flow comes pointing into the region. We start generating areas of low pressure across, potentially the front range of Alberta, moving into portions of the prairie. This is that active run, that window of opportunity. This is the verbatim run of the European model overnight. I'm just kind of a broken record at this point. Here you go. Thursday night. This is your Friday. This is Friday night. This is Saturday. This is getting into Sunday. And this is now getting into Monday of next week. We just continue to spit out areas of low pressure have them spin right into this region. Then we get that cyclonic flow around it. On the north side of that area, low pressure, the winds butt up against the Rockies, and we end up with rising motion. That is the recipe for a lot of rain across the region. So the overnight run of the European model, very favorable for precipitation across parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan, but not till we get to the weekend and early next week. And so we have to, of course, understand we've got lower confidence in that. So a simplified, oversimplified, I would say, look at the next 7 days. Precipitation chances, we have the opportunity there for some moisture across areas that badly need that. But again, the signal continues to be highest for robust rainfall across central Alberta and central portions of Saskatchewan, kind of right on the central portion of the Alberta-Saskatchewan border. That is a forecast that I have given to you not once, not twice, but a few times here over the last 4 to 6 weeks. That region continues to be the winner, at least in the terms of more frequent rainfall chances. Temperatures, they're going to be on the mild side over the next 4 or 5 days. We do likely see a shot of cooler air late week into the weekend, especially in the west. Alberta, you'll see that difference most stark. We're talking about highs in the lower 30s through Thursday, dropping down to the upper teens by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. Edmonton, you go for the upper 20s to the upper teens. Saskatoon jumping around a little bit. Here we have that midweek storm system that is a little bit more impactful across the east. Regina, same thing, 30 today, 23 Wednesday, 30 Thursday, 26 on Saturday. Hey, feels a little bit like late summer into early fall, starting to get some variety in the weather pattern across the region. Winnipeg, here's a look at your next 10 days. Again, pretty much in the mid-20s, a little warmer Friday, a little cooler heading on into the weekend. Have a wonderful next 7 days. Hopefully it's filled with some rain if you need it as we get toward the later part of the week into the weekend.